First, remember, those of you that may not be local or not remember, in Cook County we have two jurisdictions. We have a jurisdiction in the city of Chicago, and Langdon Neal is chairman of the commissioners for the city of Chicago, and as Cook County clerk I run the elections in suburban Cook County, so all of Cook County outside of Chicago. So I'm going to say a few things, Langdon is going to say a few things, we'll take your questions. Okay? So first, well, Illinois may not be a swing state, but I'll tell you, our voters are fired up. Already more than 500,000 voters in Cook County have cast their ballots before Election Day. That's 20% of all the registered voters. Now, of course, that percentage will go up when you compare it after the election with the number of people that actually vote. In suburban Cook County, we set new records in all three types of pre-election voting: mail, early, and grace period. People came out of the woodworks for the last days of early voting. Almost 229,000 people, now this is suburban Cook, voted early, breaking our record of 2008. We've processed more ballot applications than ever before, up 41% from 2008. And back then you need an excuse to vote by mail, but now you don't, and we assume that explains the differences. Finally, we had nearly double the grace period registration voters compared with 2008. Grace period in Illinois is a tool to allow those people who don't, whoops, who'd we lose?
Almost got it.
Got it. There. Grace period in Illinois means that there's just people still after the date in early October, 28 days before the election, people can still register and vote. And if you went to the courthouses this weekend or downtown, lots and lots of people doing that. So they realized there still was one last chance to do that. Now, turnout is always greatest, of course, in a presidential election. In the last 20 years, again, in suburban Cook, our greatest turnout was 75.9% in 1992 when Bill Clinton was elected, followed by 74.3% in 2004 and 73.5% in 2008. The polls open, of course, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. If you can, shorter lines during the middle of the day are always better for people. And anyone, of course, in line at 7 p.m., no matter how long the line is, will be allowed to vote. Other tips for voters include that some voters are in new precincts after redistricting. If you didn't vote in the primary, be sure to check your voter tool at cookcountyclerk.com to verify your polling place in case it changed. We also sent to every household a red, white, and blue mailer which tells the voter where their polling place is. Even better, use our new smartphone tool on your phone, and that is at m.cookcountyclerk.com, the M for mobile. It's available in 4 languages: English, Spanish, Chinese, and Hindi. It'll show you where your polling place is. It'll allow you to Google a map to see how to get there. It'll show you a sample ballot. So that tool is helpful for people just in this last day or two. Also, you're allowed on election day to bring in cheat sheets, to bring in information, because we all know we have a long ballot. There's a lot of judges on the ballot, so if you want to bring in endorsements or things like that that'll help you go through the ballot, that's appropriate. And remember, on election day, all voters in Cook County have their choice of voting on a touchscreen or voting on a paper ballot. We will have lots of attorneys in the field, more than ever, our attorneys, state's attorneys, attorney generals, to make sure that no one is prevented from casting their ballot. If you want to report irregularities, again, in suburban Cook, that number is 312-603-0236. And finally, many of us, the public, the candidates, the media, we have watched this cycle, this election cycle, for a very, very long time. People are ready to vote and very excited about seeing the results, conclusions of this election. My best to all the candidates, to the public, to the media, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Okay. Langdon?
Thank you, David. Langdon Neal, Chairman, Chicago Board of Election Commissioners. Tomorrow is the Voters' Day. Finally, after a year and a half of a very long and arduous campaign cycle, tomorrow belongs to the voters. And so I want to take a few moments here and remind the voters of some important things to remember tomorrow. Number one, if they have any questions or problems or see anything that they believe is out of the ordinary tomorrow morning or anytime tomorrow, please call us at Election Central, 312-269-7870. We, like suburban Cook County, experienced a great interest in our early voting. While we did not break records, we came very, very close to where we were 4 years ago, and we have less registered voters than we had 4 years ago. So when you consider that fact, it's certainly been a very, very strong pre-election day interest by our voters. Finding your polling place, very, very important item for our voters to remember for tomorrow. We have had a redistricting of the wards in the city of Chicago that happens once every 10 years. This is the first election after redistricting. About 20% of our voters will go to a new polling place. About 20% of our voters will go to a new polling place. So we ask all our voters in Chicago, please do what you can to find your polling place before tomorrow morning. How do you do that? There's several choices. One, we mailed a red, white, and blue mailer to every household in the city of Chicago. It has your new polling place on there. If you can still find it, keep it, look at it, and take it with you on Election Day. If you no longer have that, you can visit our website, chicagoelections.com, and look up your polling place. Or you can use our texting system, and that's 312-361-8846. Send us a text. We'll text you back your polling place location. For those without access to a computer or a smartphone or a tablet, call us up on the phone, 312-269-7900. But please try to find your polling place before you go to vote tomorrow morning. We've also done a canvass in the city of Chicago. So if for some reason you get to the polls tomorrow and they say you are an inactive voter, that simply you can be fully restored to all voting rights right there in the polling place by just showing some form of ID. We'd like, of course, to have a driver's license or state ID, but you can show a utility bill, anything which links you to an address. If you have moved within the city of Chicago recently, because we had a lot of last-minute registrations, if you've moved within the city of Chicago, you can go to your old polling place and request a federal-only ballot called a fail-safe ballot. That's if you move within the city of Chicago. If you've moved outside the city of Chicago, you're out of luck. ID. You do not have to show an ID to vote. Posted in every precinct is what we call the Voter Bill of Rights. Read it. It says on there, you do not have to show an ID. So if someone demands on Election Day that you show an ID, please, if you have a utility bill, something that links you, you do not have to show an ID. We prefer it. We'd like you to bring it if you have it, but if you don't, it's not a prerequisite to vote. And if you have any trouble on Election Day, please call us at Election Central. We've had, with the great number of new registrations within the last few days, we've created what's called supplemental polling sheets. So if you get to your polling place and the judges say, well, you're not in the poll book, we have a supplemental list. You should be on there. Again, it should not stop you from voting. Call us if there are any problems on Election Day. Absentee ballots. If you have an absentee ballot in your possession and you are not 100% positive that you can get a postmark by tonight, then bring it with you, vote in person, surrender it at the polling place. Last thing to remember, if you were in line by 7 o'clock you will be entitled to vote. The polling place will stay open for everyone that is in line by 7 o'clock, and it'll stay open, and we want all our voters to vote. Again, if you see anything unusual or you're uncomfortable or something happens in your polling place, please call us. Take some time. It's a long ballot, as David has said. It's 12 pages on the electronic system. It's 2 ballot pages long. You need 2 ballot pages. Take some time. If you can vote in the middle of the day, please do so.